I'd like to welcome you all here and to say thanks for being here. We're delighted to have you, especially a welcome to the students, but most of all, welcome to our guest, Dr. Abueldaish Abueldaish. Will you stand up, Dr. Abueldaish? No. You came here to hear Dr. Abueldaish. So I'm not going to say any more than this. There will be a very short video that gives some background. It's a bit disturbing, the video. So if some folks react badly to violent scenes, close your eyes, or stand out and then come back. Then Dr. Abueldaish will come up, and we haven't really planned this, so I'm assuming he will say a few words, as many as he likes, and I hope you're willing to take questions from the crowd. Many of the students here have read your book, so I know they'll have questions. So without that, let's tee up the video.
It was the final hours of the Gazan war, and Dr. Abueldaish was at home with 7 of his 8 children. The 2 Israeli tank shells that had slammed into the house had killed the doctor's daughters, 20-year-old Bisan, 15-year-old Maya, and 13-year-old Aya. Also to die in the same room was the doctor's 17-year-old niece, Noor.
The difficult time was just in 4 months period when I lost my wife, 16th of September 2008, of acute leukemia, then 16th of January 2009 is the day when the Israeli tank to shell my daughter's room, killing 3 daughters and 1 niece. The tragedy in that, they are my daughters who were part of me, and it's painful. The natural is the children to witness the loss of their parents, but the parents to see their children in front of their eyes killed, especially girls, which will be one day mothers, wives, educators, girls who have big hearts, where in life we all are in debt to our mothers, to our sisters, to our wives, our grandmothers. The woman is the main pillar in the community.
My oldest daughter, she was the most lovely daughter, the closest one to me. She was the mother, the sister to her sisters after I lost my wife.
Since then, I am devoting my life for my daughters who are there and my children who are living, and their message to spread it. Since then, I swore to God, I will never rest. I will never relax. I will never give up, because I see them. They are with me. They are living with me. They talk to me. What did you do for us? Did you forget us? I say to them from here, I didn't forget you.
Dr. Abueldaish, and I look at Dr. Abueldaish, did not practice revenge. He said there has to be understanding. He wrote a book which I strongly urge you to read called I Shall Not Hate. He started the Daughters for Life Foundation in memory of this tragedy.
Education really is the key, and I think that is the message that we're trying to give today. And what we're hoping to do is to involve the entire Sarasota community in welcoming the Daughters for Life students here. And we don't have a specific agenda. We don't have an actual idea of what this will look like, but we do know this. We do know that people here in Sarasota, New College, and the community at large is really dedicated to this same goal. And it's our hope in the next few months to have basically an organization in place that will not only welcome these students to New College, but to be a permanent resource, not only for the students that are coming, but for the people here in Sarasota.
We'll bring up to 10 women per year, students, from the Middle East to New College of Florida. And they will do a 4-year degree here. New College of Florida is the state honored college of Florida. The women will come from Egypt, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. Bringing the scholars from the Middle East to Florida will benefit not just those students, but it will help our own students from Florida, many of whom come from Central Florida towns. They're going to go out to a multi-ethnic, multicultural, very diverse world, meeting people with different experiences than oneself, and having deep engagement with them is the best sort of education possible. So it's not just New College in this trying to go out and change the world. It's good education.
Daughters for life from the Middle East who are succeeding from hardship, from Palestine, from Jordan, from Israel, from Lebanon, from Syria, to see them in American universities. That's the world, that's the humanity to bring and to give, to share with others. And in that case, I can say to my daughters, when I meet them, you are alive and were kept alive, and your tragedy impacted others' lives. And that's the hope, to encourage others.
Good evening. Life is a priority to death. Even those who were killed and dead, they are alive. But we need to focus on the present and the future. And I would like to start, as I fully believe, the one who is not thankful to people is not thankful to God. This gathering, this meeting, is a sign of hope, is a sign of initiative, and it will never happen without the good will of good people who were behind it. I thank you all for coming. I thank my friend Dan, boxer, who started it, and this is a message for you as students. Don't make any decision till you try. So we need to try first, and then we can decide. I remember it when I came February 2013 to this city, and I asked Dan if you can coordinate any meeting with any college there, and he organized the meeting with the president and with the vice president. They are sitting here because I want to explore and to try to do my best to find support for Daughters for Life. And we met, and that's why we are here. As my daughter Bisan, from whom I learned, she said, everything starts small, then becomes big. Everything starts in one place and goes in different directions. It's started by one idea, by an initiative. And we tried. And you see, where are we now? Just in a few months later. And what will happen in 1 year? You will see these girls among you, where you can learn from them as they will learn from you. That's what is needed to make. So thanks to all, to Dan, to Don, to Steve, to everyone, to Charles, to everyone who made this initiative, and to keep Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and Noor, and our beloved ones alive, not with anger, with the grief, with pain, but with actions. If you ask me, I would love to be in your position as students, because you are the hope. Your presence and the girls who are coming, they will be the hope. Because we can't, in life, equalize between the one who knows and the one who doesn't. Education is the light which guides us in times of darkness. And you see, the world is endemic with darkness. The world is endemic with violence, with hatred, with anger, with injustice. So we need this education to overcome and to contain these epidemics in this world. Our enemies in this world are our ignorance. Our ignorance of ourselves and of others. Our arrogance, greed, fear. We are stereotyped or misinformed most of the time.
And we can't overcome it till we know each other. And as long as we continue not to know, we will continue to hate or even to have a prejudice against each other. So these girls who will come here, they will help to bridge, to know each other. It's not with anger. We need to be angry in this world. Angry in a way where it energizes us, not to blame, but to take responsibility. What can I do? What world do we want for us and others? It's not with hate. Because hate for me, that I fully believe in, it's a disease. It's a destructive disease. To whom? To the one who carries it. It doesn't go beyond the one who carries it. As any disease, as cancer. Cancer doesn't cross to go to others. It destroys the organs or the body which is infected with it. And that's hatred. It's the same. But there are other ways that we can fight and contain the prejudice in this world. It's with wisdom and education that you are getting here. We all are blessed to have this wisdom and this kind of education. Our kind and courageous, strong words to say the word in time. What is the value of treating the patient when the patient is dead? We need to treat patients in times of need and the good deeds. And each of us can do something. You can spread a good word. And for you, as students, don't take anything to the heart. If there is anything wrong with your friends, try to settle it down before you leave. By the end of the day, when you go to put your head on your pillow, at least if you didn't do good things, you didn't have any bad ideas about others. Don't have any heavy load you carry with you. You need to be lighter in order to move forward. Stronger, faster, more determined. Don't be distracted with these issues. You need to be focused. And life taught me that nothing is impossible in life. Nothing is impossible in life. Everything in life I planned to achieve, I succeeded. And even now, if anything I want, I will do it. So I say to you, don't underestimate yourself. Don't reject yourself. Be confident that you can make it. You can be the one you want. The only impossible thing in life I believe in is to return Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and Noor back to life. But I can keep them alive. In my heart, in your hearts, in your souls. So you need to look around, to ask, and to learn. And that's why you are here, to learn. And after you leave, you need to act. Words are good, but they should be accompanied by actions. As I said, don't underestimate yourselves. Don't reject yourself. Let others reject you. If you see someone who starts to lose confidence, it's the first step in failure. And when I say nothing is impossible, if I came to you 7 or 8 years before to say to you, I dreamed the president of the States will be a black guy called Barack Obama. What are you going to say to me? No one will listen to me or believe me. But who is the president now? And I am sure he planned it and he dreamed in it, because every big dream begins with a dreamer. So you need to dream big. Dreams are close to reality with hard work. And that's what is needed. And that's what I am determined to see, the plans, dreams of Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and Noor fulfilled by other girls. It's not the biology, it's the humanity. You can have a brother who is close to you, not from your mother or your father. The antidote of hatred and revenge and anger, where we lose control and direction, is success. And that's what I learned from my daughter Shada. You have seen her, she was wounded. Shada was severely wounded and spent 4 months in the hospital. She lost the sight in one eye, 2 malformed fingers, and she was studying day and night to be one of the top 10 in Palestine in the high school, studying on candles. And she said, I have to go back to study to achieve the dreams of my sisters. And the high school exam is one of the most difficult exams. It's a standardized exam for the whole country at the same time from the whole curriculum. They don't care what did you pass through. I didn't expect much from Shada. And she did the exam. And the day I planned to move to Canada, they announced the result. And Shada succeeded as nothing happened to her. She succeeded 96% in the high school. And what is she doing now? She's studying electrical and computer engineering at the University of Toronto. The disability is not the loss of the sight. It's to feel the defeat. It's the defeat of the spirit and the potential. And that's what is needed. Daughters for Life, which was established for education of girls and women from the Middle East without any discrimination, whether Muslims, Christians, Jews, Druze. They are girls. And they deserve to be given the opportunities. Because girls and women, they don't need just rights or status. What is missing? It's the opportunity and the right role. And I am sure if we gave them this opportunity and this right role, the world will be a different one. Because we, as men and women in this world, we are complementing each other. We are supporting each other. We are not fighting against each other. That's the way we need to work together. And one can't do everything, but each of us can do something. Let all of us come together to take responsibility, to do our parts, and not to underestimate our actions, and to feed our souls, our communities with the good deeds, not to focus on blaming and the story of the old wise old native guy, when his grandson was sitting with him asking him about any wisdoms about life. So the grandfather told him, in each of us, there are two fighting wolves. One is the bad one, which is hatred, which is anger, which is animosity, fighting, and the other, which is good, giving, caring, harmony, the good things. And that's what do we have in each of us. So then the grandson looked at him and said, which one will win? He said, the one which you will feed more. Life is what we make it. Always has been, always will be. It's in our hands. We can shape the life the way we want, and to make it the one we want for us and for others. I say to you, move confident, be determined. The world and the future is waiting for you. It's your future, it's your life to decide and to make it the one we want, because you are the hope and you are the future. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
After the girls complete their education here, do you expect them to go back to their countries? And will they be allowed to practice what they've learned in their countries?
We expect them, and we sign with them a contract to go back to their home countries. And I am sure these girls, as others did, they will speak louder and they will implement and practice what did they learn here, whether in their communities, at their houses, with their future husbands, to raise their children, because the role of the mother is far beyond just the community. It's in every aspect of life.
Hi, thank you so much for coming. I want you to know that the reason I thought your book was so important and the reason it meant so much to me is that I found that in my time in this country, and as I was growing up, I felt like we got a lot of the perspective of Israel and what was going on there and what the people there were going through. And it was very hard to get a sense of what Palestinian people were going through, particularly in the Gaza Strip. And I think your book was so important because it gave us the other side of that story. And I know you don't want to take sides, and that I completely respect that. And I think the book was important because it also helped us understand what was going on for people in the Gaza Strip. And I want to know what you think we can do in the States to get more of that perspective and to understand what people there are going through.
You can do important things. And I'm not going to take any side, which is important, because I fully believe you can't be pro-Israel without being pro-Palestinians. You can't be pro-Palestinians without being pro-Israel. We are living, and we should live together with respect, not even with peace, with respect and understanding. I ask the Americans and the American administration not to delete their support to Israel, but to add the support of the Palestinians with a semi-size as to the support of Israel. Because the support of Israel alone, once you are taking one side, it's not going to help that side. Once you are polarized, you lose the confidence and the trust by the other side. So we need someone who can bring both together and to think of both. And that's what is important from the American administration, to do and to bring Palestinians, and they can.
Good evening. Hi. I'm sorry. I apologize if you had said this before, but the question that came to mind for me was that I wanted to know how these young ladies were selected.
How?
How they were selected to be part of the organization and to come.
Yeah, these girls, of course, we have the website of the Foundation Girls through our partners in the Middle East, in Palestine, in Israel, in Jordan, in Syria, and Lebanon, and Egypt. Syria and Egypt, because of the security situation, you know, it was difficult, but we have partners in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Palestine, and Israel. The students approach us, and they apply. We screen these applications, girls who are succeeding from hardship, social and economic hardship. We don't want to give the ones who have. We want to give where girls, where financial and economic challenge is a barrier to achieve their dreams. And these girls can impact when they go back. That's the main merit with which we built our criteria. And of course, they should fulfill the criteria required by the academic institutions. Yes.
I'm just curious, how are you regarded in Gaza today? It's the Gazan press, do they report on your foundation? Is there sympathy for this effort, or is there resistance from your efforts to work with groups of people that perhaps the leadership might not want to see you work with? I'm just curious what the status is of that.
No, it's important, a question which, you know, I have been asked this question because, as I said, maybe we are stereotyped. We think the people. I was in August in Palestine, in Israel. I visited Palestinians. And to your knowledge, Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, they have the highest number of PhD candidates in the world, in the Middle East at least, and they are educated. But we need to ask, what is the value of the education? What is missing there? What is missing there is the freedom, which is the most precious thing in the universe. What is the value of my education? And I am kept stuck in one corner. I was there, Palestinians, as my Israeli friends, are proud of what did I do, and the media is handling it proudly of the Palestinian doctor who is doing, and how this tragedy was translated into positive actions. We should overcome. I would love one day you come next year when we go there to give the awards to the Palestinian girls in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, and even at the Israeli universities. Palestinians, they want to live free as other nations, as other people. And that's what is important. We should overcome the stereotype about the Palestinians, whether in Gaza Strip or the Israelis or other people.
Hello. I want to thank you for coming here. Actually, I found your book very inspirational. I'm actually on track to go to medical school myself, and I was wondering what you believe is the most important part of your medical education that helped you become the person you are.
It helped me a lot. And even with this tragedy, it helped me. When people, they ask me, what helped you to take that position? Because medicine, as I used to be the first Palestinian to take a formal position at an Israeli hospital, because medicine, it has one face. It has one culture, one value. It's a human. We don't discriminate when we treat patients. To design a treatment for one diagnosis different for every patient according to name, ethnicity, or background. Medicine, even now, more than any time before, it speaks about justice and freedom. Medicine is the human equalizer and stabilizer. Health that we think of is not in the hospitals. Health is in all aspects of life. Health is in all sectors. Health is in all policies. You must be proud, and I am sure your parents will be proud of you when you become a doctor. And that's what happened at the time of the tragedy as a doctor. When I saw my daughters who were killed, I should not focus on the killed. I should focus on the wounded. Because when I do the round and to meet the patients, once the patient is dead, I should move to the next patient. So it was my profession helped me, and even it gave me hope. Because medicine, it gives hope. I will never lose hope in treating any patient as long as the patient is still alive. Maybe today we don't have a treatment, but we have tomorrow. We have after tomorrow. So it's about justice, about hope, about humanity, about life. And that's why I missed it these days, but I find it in other ways, and even to see you as a doctor and other students as doctors, to support them, that's the continuity of life, and that's the hope.
What is the participation of the women in Palestine now in the decisions that happen inside the area where they live? And do you expect that once these girls that are educated in America go back, their participation will be more influential of what the mood in the country will be?
Women's participation in any country, not only in Palestine, of course, once they go there, they will participate. And even at the political level, there are women, about 20 to 25%, even the quota, to be represented in the parliament. The Palestinian Legislation Council, at least more than 25% Palestinian women are represented in the Palestinian Legislation Council. So this is by law, we have it, but we need more. And we need everywhere, not only in Palestine, because the issue of women's role and to give them the opportunity, it's not restricted in Palestine, but in many other countries, many parts of the world. I would love to see more women in the Congress, in other parts, 40, 50, and that's what is needed in many other countries. I'm coming from Canada, and to see how many, 15 or 20% maximum, and that's what is needed. We should not blame others that they are not democratic or they are not giving the women's rights. It's not, it's relative. Everything is relative. Maybe here, the women's rights and the women's movements, because it started earlier. But one day we can reach where you are now and hope we can shorten the time to be used to reach where are you. Palestinian women, even if you go to universities, they are more than the boys, and they are succeeding, and they are doing, but we need to give them the opportunity. And I am sure by the end of the day, we as men, we have to understand that we need to give them that opportunity. By the end of the day, it helps us as it helps them. And this is the male dominant thinking. everywhere. We think women are threatening us. They are not. They are not threatening us. We can work in harmony together.
Hi. You mentioned that you used to be the only Palestinian doctor who was working in Israel at the Israeli hospitals. Can you talk a bit about the progress that has been made sort of in lowering the barrier there and sort of integrating the two countries?
When I started it in 91, during what is called the First Intifada. At that time, the Israelis used to see me at the age of 14 when I worked in Israel as a worker, and to go to work in summer holidays. Different kinds of dirty black work. And many Palestinians used to work in Israel to see them as workers. So it's time to see Palestinians as a human, as equal, and nothing more than medicine to show them that. And when I went there, I believed in it. I practiced my profession because I believed in it. It took time to build the trust, and this I learned from it. Our challenges, even our enemies' lack of trust. We don't trust each other. And we don't trust because we don't know each other. We don't communicate. Once we start to communicate and to know and to see the human face of each other, we can build the trust. And once you trust someone, you like someone, you can forgive the one you like for any mistakes. I worked there and they knew me, my colleagues, my friends, the Palestinian doctor, the patients, to say the Palestinian, the Gaza doctor. I missed it. I felt it's my home. I spent at the hospital more time than what do I spend at my home in Gaza. 5 days at the hospital and 2 days with my wife and my children. The happiest moment in my life when I handled the baby to his mother. The cry of the newborn baby is a cry of hope. There is no difference between the newborn Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Druze, Bedouins. There are a new hope, a new life is coming to life. And that's what I did. And I felt it impacted them. They knew who is the Palestinian and how can we live together as we lived, as we shared inside the hospital. We can share outside the borders of the hospitals.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saif. I'm a first year here. My question is the Daughters for Life program is great, and I'm really an advocate for that. But what is being done for the young men in, especially in Gaza Strip and the West Bank, especially with Hamas? They tend to take over the education and things like that. What's being done for them in the community over there?
The universities in Gaza Strip alone, we have about 6-7 universities. And education for the Palestinians, it's holy. The parents, they can sacrifice everything. You have to succeed. They cut from their food to educate their children. But this education, you come here to be educated, to get your degree, to build a life, to find a career, a job in the future. Palestinians, in particular in Gaza Strip, doctors, engineers, different specialties, but they are stuck there. Even they can't leave the Gaza Strip.
And that's the challenge for the people. I say it, the most holy thing in the universe is a human being. And we as doctors, we value human life, and we need to value human life. Number two is the freedom, because we all were born free. And we must run and live a normal, free life. That's what is missing. Freedom, not only the political freedom, what are we talking? Freedom of sickness, of poverty, of need, of oppression, of occupation, of ignorance. That's the freedom in this world which is needed. And no one is free as long as others are not. Because sometimes we blame others. Violence, hatred, they cross barriers. Any violence in any part of the world, it can cross barriers. So when we contain this violence, any part, we help ourselves. When we immunize children with polio in any other country, we protect ourselves. Because these diseases can cross barriers and impact us. So we need to be proactive. And the people who think they are far from risk, no one in this world. You see it, the world is becoming smaller and smaller every day. The one who thinks they are far from risk, I say to them, you make a mistake. No one. And the good example, not these days, they realized it more than 6 decades ago. Martin Niemöller, the German Protestant theologist, at the times of the Nazis, he said they came first. They came first for the communists. And I didn't speak out because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholic. He was a Protestant. I didn't speak out because I wasn't a Catholic. Then they came for me. Sadly, by that time, no one was left to speak out to. So we need to speak out. We need to be proactive, not just reactive to any situation.
Hi, I'm so happy that you're here. Hope you guys can hear me. So I'm Israeli, and I know that in Israel and Palestine there is a peace movement. But as an Israeli, I know that when you join it, you risk being alienated from your family, from your friends, who don't agree, who feel rejected. When you decided to not hold on to any hatred, when you decided to move towards dialogue between people, did you ever struggle on a social level? Did you ever struggle with family or friends?
Thank you. But one of the things we should not generalize. When you speak about the peace movements, even inside your home in Israel, we should not generalize. You can see many families, most of them are peace movement and belong to one. And I will give you an example, even inside one house. Ehud Olmert, he used to be the Israeli prime minister. His wife is left-wing and peace, now supporter, and he's Likud, and then Kadima. His daughter even, she is taking the most left side than his wife. But we need to respect and to understand. For me, when I took this decision, I believed in it. The majority of the Palestinians, of course, there are people maybe they don't accept what did I do. I have to understand them. But the majority were proud of it. Even just in last August when I was there, they said,
struggle, a Palestinian struggle with a new flavor. And that's the new flavor we need. It's, as I said, the wisdom, the kindness. It's not to give up and not to forget. Not to give up your rights, but which means we can use. Because in Israel, you are from Israel, I say it, Palestinians and Israelis, military ways and military means will never put an end to this conflict. And politicians and the leaders should understand it. How far do we want to go with military means? By the end of the day, power will be demolished. It's not to put an end. Because anything with power, with force, can succeed, but not for long term, not permanent. And we must find a new way. I said it to them, Palestinians, it's not like here in the States. Even in the States, you can have one state different from the other. But Palestinians and Israelis like conjoined twins. Conjoined twins, we are together. Any pain in the Palestinian side will impact the Israeli side. Any situation, any suffering, economic, even the Israeli leaders, they realized it. The political leadership in Israel and the elections is influenced by the Palestinian side. So if we know that, why not to find the shortest way and to save lives and to put an end in a respectful way, in a semi-just way, because justice is relative, in semi-equal, because the Palestinians' freedom is from the Israelis' freedom. The Israelis are not free or safe or secure if the Palestinians are not safe, free, and secure. The future of the Israelis is from the Palestinians' future. It's not built or dependent on the Palestinians. It's linked together. So it's important for the current, personally, the current Israeli government, Lieberman, Netanyahu. When I speak about it, Lieberman, Israel, I have many great friends in Israel. They don't have a minister for the foreign affairs, just Lieberman. They can find someone, who is acceptable to the Israelis even, not to the Palestinians, acceptable by the Israelis. So it's important. And if we want to do it after 10 years, why not to do it today? To reach this agreement, and the agreement is there, just the implementation of what do we call the roadmap.